Hello beautiful beings, welcome back to Spiritual Self-Mastery, episode 42 of the journey. I just came back from my 1 week in the jungle. I know right now, for my lighting of this current video, I'm using 2 flashlights. I'm gonna have to buy some sort of light at the electronics store or something to actually get some lighting in here. Because I don't like it and I had to improvise for today. So, I just came back from the jungle a couple days ago, and today's video is gonna be very important. Okay, I'm gonna update all of you guys on my journey, what's going on with the shamanic apprenticeship, or the best word actually would be maestro, which is the master of ceremonies, or the master healer would be probably more fitting. So what's going on with this journey of mine, what's going on with all of my other projects, and also in this very special video I'm also going to fill it with a lot of knowledge when it comes to the plants, the spirit of the plants, and what's going on here in the Amazon rainforest in South America. Some of the knowledge of the shamans, some of the things I've learned, and actually I can show to all of you. And it's extremely interesting stuff. I can guarantee you, please watch until the very end. You won't regret it. Or you'll find it at least extremely interesting. So, let's start. The journey episode 42. So I spent a whole week in the jungle this time. It's my 3rd retreat center I went to. Right now, I'm literally back in the same hostel room I used to be in. I can hear a lot of music here because I'm in a kind of downtown Iquitos and they're playing a lot of music here. So, but anyways, let's continue. I spent some amazing time with other fellow members that were there for the healing. I've met the maestro, the shaman there. It was absolutely great. I had a lot of fun during this week. It's funny how the universe is trying to block me from making this very important video, but I'm going to push it through even though the music in the background is kind of distracting. Okay, so I wrote a lot of notes. Actually, I wrote 4 pages of notes for all of you on what's going on. Okay, so when I met the master over there, okay, I told her about, actually it was a female Shipibo shaman, and she told me about, I told her about, my wants, right, me wanting to become a shaman, me wanted to, becoming a shaman one day, right, becoming an actual maestro, which is the proper name, and eventually, be able to, attend ceremonies of ayahuasca. And I've learned so much through this week. I had 3 ayahuasca ceremonies. I'm going to make future videos on these, okay? And basically, the shaman actually asked the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca during one of the ceremonies we had on which master plant I should actually diet on once I actually decide to become a shaman. And for those who don't know what master plants are master plant teachers. It's actually part of the shamanic process or the maestro process to actually be the one leading the ceremonies here. And it's basically specific diets that you have to do with specific plants, and it's extremely restrictive. You completely cut off, from the outside world. No internet, no electronics, only your notepad and some notes, and you write all of your experiences. As you basically the only person that you see during this whole process is the shaman, who actually gives you the food, and you're completely cut off from everyone else in the world around you. And basically, you start to get these crazy dreams, these visions. And before you start your plan dieta, it's called a plan dieta or master plan. Basically, you're communicating with one specific plant which is one of the master plants, which actually will help to give you knowledge and pour wisdom into you to actually help you guide you into your own shamanic process. So anyways, so you do that for like 11 to 15 days, and you eat plant foods only. They still have the same type of food diet that you have for ayahuasca, that you don't eat any spicy foods, you don't eat any sugar unless it's the natural fruit natural fruit sugars, right, or stuff like that. And basically you have like just like rice and just like bland potatoes, right, and like this specific plant that you either drink as tea, or that you drink this or you eat this plant anyways during this whole process, and gives you intense dreams, intense visions. And in these visions during this process, that's where you actually acquire the Icaros. Icaros are the plant's gift to you that you get through your vision. Icaros are what the shamans actually sing during an ayahuasca ceremony to actually help to cleanse your body and your spirit more. So, but they gain all of this knowledge, and it's like kind of like songs that they're chanting, the Icaros. But they figured they had to like decrypt, I guess, the message from the vision of the plants that they actually get, and eventually they decipher it, and they are actually able to actually chant the Icaros, which is the plant's gift that they got through their plant diet, or the planta dieta in Spanish. And basically shamans will do multiple plant dietas over a period of time. That's why sometimes it may take up to like 1 to 3 years to actually become a full-fledged shaman, because it might take you months to actually decipher all of these Icaros, and to actually being able to actually chant it, to actually help to heal others as you actually lead a ceremony. That's why the more plant dietas an actual shaman or a maestro has actually done, that's why you'll actually have, or she'll have, more tools in her tool belt, so to speak, to help people that are attending the ayahuasca ceremonies to actually heal. So basically, when the plant dieta starts, they actually do one ayahuasca ceremonies to open all of the energetical channels to actually being more receptive energetically to the plant that you're going to communicate with for this whole process, and one usually at the end to actually help to receive the messages more from the plants and the visions that you've had during this time. This very close and close time of connection you actually had with this plant. So it's very interesting stuff. Anyways, the shaman at the retreat center I went to, she actually asked the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca which plant dieta or master plant I should actually diet on for my own shamanic process that I want to start at some point, right? And so it's going to be black pine, or in Spanish, piño negro, which is the actual word. So it's really interesting. She actually received the message from the plant spirit on which plant diet I should actually do for my own healing, and eventually become the healer, the shaman. So anyways, she told me that during my 7th ceremony. So this was my second ceremony there, actually, because I had 3 ceremonies over the span of a whole week, and also did 1 Kambo ceremony during my time over there in the jungle, which was very intense, by the way. Kambo, the frog poison, to make you a warrior. It's really interesting. Anyways, so she also told me, the shaman there, that the plants told her that they know that I was very determined to become a shaman, or to become a maestro. And so basically the shaman was actually chanting specific Icaros in front of me, also as she was actually singing in front of everybody else. There, right? To actually help with her own healing process. Okay, so after my time at this 3rd retreat center I went to, I was so amazed by the amount of detail at that specific center. I was amazed. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was different from all the other retreat centers I've actually went to. This was the most meticulous one. This was the most, I guess, expensive one, but it was worth every penny I spent over there, to be honest. And also, I really love the seriousness of their work there. The woman, the Shipibo woman shaman there, Maestro, actually. There, I was impressed by her, the wealth of knowledge. Also the purity of her soul that she had. I can sense energies, by the way. I can sense people when they're full of it, or when they have a pure heart, or when they have darkness in their hearts, or they need healing. I can sense all of that. And I sensed it right away, that this Shipibo shaman was very, very, very special. And she, after hearing her talking, I've actually decided, after some long thought about it, I've decided that this was going to be my shaman. That I chose my shaman, and I told her as well that I want to be, guided, and also, get my actual shamanic apprenticeship through her. Because she was the one that actually impressed me the most, and she also had a wealth of knowledge, which I think the best shaman with the most knowledge, the most Icaros, and the most connection, and I also need a shaman that has a very pure soul. That's, one of my soul's needs. That I feel anyways that I need. Anyways, this shaman, she had something very different in her energy. Very humble. With an extremely peaceful spirit. You could tell that she wasn't there just, she wasn't there for the money. Some other shamans, I've seen some other shamans, and sometimes they're there for the money. But she wasn't, clearly wasn't. And, it's not all the shamans that has the best intentions, by the way. Some shamans are actually mostly there just for the money, or they're a little bit there for the healing, but, they're more about money. It all depends on how they fed their ego and how they actually done the ego work. Also, now going back to actually plant dietas. Plant dietas are extremely important into the process of becoming a shaman, becoming a maestro, to gain knowledge and to also purify your spirit. These plant dietas are so powerful, my friends, they're even more powerful than just doing an ayahuasca ceremony. I'm not joking. So I highly recommend it to anyone that wants to learn more about all this. So the plant dietas, my friends, the shamans, some shamans will do it. Not all shamans will actually do it, though. It's not all of them that has all the wealth of knowledge about this, but a lot of Shipibo shamans will actually know about this. So I'm going to repeat it a little bit, but it's just an isolation. It's a complete isolation for 11 to 15 days, or 11 to 12 days or something, where you don't speak to anyone but the shaman. During this diet, you eat bland foods like potatoes, rice-specific plant chosen for plant diet. And each plants, my friends, all have a different purpose, and they can bring you different Icaros and different wealth of knowledge and wisdom, actually. So my friends, during these specific plant dietas that you are completely isolated from everyone and everything except the shaman, which is actually your teacher during this period of time, you're basically getting rid of completely all external stimuli. The only thing that actually stimulates you is nature. The sounds from nature around, right? Because you're completely submerged in the jungle. And basically, my friends, once you actually start to get these visions through your dreams, and through also the different ayahuasca ceremonies that you have before and after, especially after you've dieted with this specific plant, you start to see these patterns, these weird patterns. It's a pattern that you'll see If you actually type on Google Icaro, I-C-A-R-O, you'll know exactly what I mean. You'll see this in a lot of Peruvian arts. And all of these different lines, it's not just to, be pretty. These are actually some of the shamans' visions. It's what they see. And they basically decipher all of these lines and they translate it into Shipibo and then start to actually sing it. Right? They start to actually sing the Icaro from the plant. And so they just decipher it into a song that they actually chant. And they chant these during the Ayahuasca ceremonies to actually help amplify the healing of the people attending that specific ceremony and to connect with the spirit of that specific plant that they've died on. Because that plant actually helps them to heal people. They're part of the collective spirit world of the plants. And, the way I see it, these master plants, all these plants, nature is extremely close to the universe. It's extremely close to God. And it's one way to actually purify the soul. There's so many different ways to actually do it. This is not necessary, but it's extremely getting more and more known and, getting more and more proven for its actually healing work into people. Also, after the plant dieta, you have to abstain from pork also for about 6 months, completely. You have to try to avoid lower vibrational foods. And also, these plant dietas, my friends, will actually surface your inner unresolved problems, your inner demons. All that stuff will actually come out. So you might have weird thoughts going on in your mind as you actually diet through these specific plants. Okay, so if you want to heal from an emotion, if you want to heal from something in the energetical healing sphere, right? Well, you have to feel it first and it has to come out, right? Well, it's the exact same thing. So you do the plant diet, the emotions, the things, the gunk comes out of your soul, basically. You purge it, and then your soul is liberated. Your soul actually feels more free, feels actually lighter. It actually cleanses your soul, your spirit. It's great stuff. So basically these plant dietas, my friends, these master plants, master plant teachers, okay, they will rewire your brain in the best way possible. They will purify your body and thus your soul. And during this whole, how do you get the Icaros, right? The message, or the message from the plant, or the plant's gift, as they say, right? Well, it's because you actually have this very intimate relationship with the master plant. Yes, you have this very intimate relationship with the master plant. It's a very big energetical exchange during this whole time. And the plants will transfer some of its own knowledge into you. You know when they say that, trees have knowledge, right? And that they're alive and you can transfer or get energy from the actual, plant, I guess, grid as you're touching the tree and you connect your mind, subatomically through the network of the plants because all of them are actually connected. Well, it's kind of the same thing, except that you actually ingest it in your body, and that's how you communicate, instead of communicating physically directly with it. So this whole process will actually get you closer to the plants. So these Icaros will be visions or patterns, and they will be completely beautiful. They will astonish you if you go through this process. But it's a very necessary process into the healing sphere of the maestros, of the shamans here in the Amazon. And it's very, very sacred knowledge that is guarded, and that the wisdom are actually willing to share to those that are willing to go through these master plant diets, these plant dietas, that are willing to actually go into this intimate relationship with it, with the plants, with that specific spirit or that specific energy, because spirits are energy, because everything is energy, everything is spirit. Once you understand that, everything becomes more clear. It's not spirits like they say in movies or whatever, like, oh, you know, it's going to possess you or whatever. No, no, it's not that. Everything is connected, and all energy, especially the plant world, they want the best for you. They want to heal you. So these specific relationships can be very intimate and can bring a wealth of knowledge into your soul and your mind. So these Icaros that they learn will actually make the shaman a better shaman, because we'll actually have more tools and more knowledge to help people. Some shamans may never do any plant dietas and only do ayahuasca since they're young. That may still work, but it might actually restrict the actual shaman or the maestro from having more knowledge from the plants. You know, some swear only by the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, which is an actually great spirit, by the way. But there's a lot more to this. There's always a lot more. It only opens itself up, though, to those who are actually willing to explore. So, to have like a good shaman, from what I personally have heard, you need to have at least done maybe 8 to 10 different plant dietas. And sometimes it takes months before you actually decipher your first Icaro. So that, my friend, is the actual reason why sometimes it may take a couple years for a shaman to become an actual full-fledged shaman. It may take up to like 3 years sometimes for a shaman to truly become a shaman. I've heard of some other people under the previous maestro that I've seen, okay, that this girl apparently took her about 2 years to actually be able to sing her first Icaro. You know, Shipibo wasn't her first language, obviously. Also, my friends, once you start to commit to one shaman, and you actually start your apprenticeship, you're supposed to commit to that one shaman. You don't want to start seeing other shamans if you actually have started your apprenticeship, because that would be a sign of disloyalty somehow, or of a waste of time of that specific shaman, because that shaman has put all of its energy, all of its knowledge, pour into you. Because these shamans will put a lot of energy and everything into training you. You know, you don't want that shaman to feel betrayed, or to feel like, you know, that shaman or that maestro has actually wasted their time on you, right? Also, once you start getting into your shaman apprenticeship, or maestro apprenticeship, you're connected on a much, much deeper level with the soul of that specific shaman. So, my friends, you actually got to choose your shaman or your maestro wisely, right? You got to go also with your feeling, with your instincts, right? What does it tell you? You know, what's the vibe you're feeling from that maestro? You know, is this the right maestro for you? I went to multiple maestro, and I finally found the one. I finally found the one. But it's going to take a little while before I actually start my own apprenticeship, because I'm going to explain why. Because the shaman apprenticeship or maestro apprenticeship are quite expensive usually, and I don't necessarily have the money for that. So what I've done, I've actually spoke to the owner of that specific retreat center, because I spent a whole week with her and her husband that were there as facilitators during her ayahuasca experiences. Extremely kind souls. And I've actually offered to work, volunteer work, to actually help at that specific retreat center in exchange to get my shaman apprenticeship for free, instead of costing me 15, 30, 50 grand or something for, like, let's say a couple years, you know, of apprenticeship to get everything down and nailed down. Well, I'm just going to offer some volunteer work, and she has actually have accepted my offer. So that's why I'm so excited to share all of this with all of you guys. I'm going to get my maestro apprenticeship at some point. Not now, okay? Maybe in a year and a half from now or something. In a year and a half to 2 years or something from now, I'll actually start my actual maestro apprenticeship. But for now, it's going to be to do some work, you know, volunteer work at that retreat center also. And also, to be able to actually help at that specific retreat centers, I'm going to have to become a facilitator to do some free facilitator work. So they offered me some training, and I'm actually gonna start some training in February of 2023. Isn't that awesome? So this is the big news, my friends. Okay, everything is unfolding. Okay, before my eyes and before your eyes. Okay, and everything is happening in divine order, and I'm so happy. So I'm gonna start my Kambo practitioner or Kambo facilitator, also Ayahuasca facilitator at that specific retreat center in February. It's going to be a 4-month training, to become a full-fledged facilitator with 2 months of online courses and 2 months of practical courses, which is going to be very intense, very hard, because I'm going to have to go through multiple Kambo experiences to become a facilitator. So it's going to be about 2 Kambo ceremonies a day for 5 days. Oh, that's going to be rough. Oh, I've done 2 Kambo ceremonies before, and gosh, it's uncomfortable. The Kambo poison, the Kambo frog poison, oh, you feel like absolute crap for about 30 minutes, my friends. Oh gosh, it's horrible. But it makes also your immune system, and it helps to, not medical advice by the way, but it also helps to, they say, to get rid of diseases and get rid of different mental issues. Not medical information, but they say things like cancer, or things like mental diseases, or things like also improves blood flow in your body apparently, and it helps to purge a lot of negative energy. Also, you got to be very careful about the Icaros. Let's go back to the Icaros now, my friends. Okay, so after you've finished your plant dieta, okay, you cannot see any other shaman for at least a month, at the very least a month after plant dieta, and you shouldn't even see another shaman at least until the very end of your shaman apprenticeship, okay, because you're dedicated to that one shaman, to that one maestro. It's very important, okay. So, but before you actually start your apprenticeship, it's fine. You can see multiple shamans and it's fine. You can have different experiences in different places. But you got to understand the clear distinction between the two. Because basically, also, the first 30 days after your plant dieta, it's very important. You got to monitor who you actually share your energy with, because your Icaros can actually be stolen. I'm not joking. The plant's gift that you received can actually be stolen. There has been some instances, by the way, and it has been known in the past that some shamans have actually stolen some other people's Icaros, the plant gift, from other shamans. That's why it's important that you don't see another shaman too, because they can steal the gift that you received from that plant spirit to actually increase their own energetical powers. Some shamans may have bad intentions. Not everybody has pure spirits. So you gotta have the gift also of discernment. Also, it may happen if a shaman becomes jealous of another shaman, right? If a maestro becomes jealous of another maestro, they sometimes will do spiritual attacks on one another. If they have enough protection around them, they're fine. But it may happen. And when I said earlier that Icaros can actually be stolen, it can be stolen because everything is energy. And also you gotta understand that when you do ayahuasca or plant medicine, you gotta understand that it completely opens up all of your energetical channels of your spirit body. And it completely pries open your crown chakra, by the way, okay, on top of your soul here. So you may be susceptible to spiritual attacks if you're not careful, and that's why you got to be careful on actually who you see and who you actually share your energy with. So when your spirit body and your crown chakra is fully open, especially during the weeks, the days following your ayahuasca ceremonies, or after a plant dieta, well, you gotta got to be very careful, right? Especially if you see another shaman. You got to trust your shaman, because if the shaman doesn't have good intention, you know, the shaman can actually literally play with your soul, so to speak. You know, so if you choose wisely, usually you're fine. You know, because once your crown chakra is fully open, it's fully open. You know. So, yeah, you just gotta have people with good intentions around you, especially during that training. So, yeah, your energetic body and chakras are fully open during this whole process. Okay, even slightly after. As the plant's energy or the plant's spirit heals your soul. Okay? How do you think the plant spirits, which is actual just energy, by the way, because spirit is energy, well, how do you think the plant spirit's going to actually heal your soul? Well, your soul has to be receptive, it has to be open, so that's why it actually fully opens up all your chakras, all your energetical ports of your soul. So you just got to be careful. That's it. So now, yeah, that Shipibo woman I met at that specific retreat center. Oh gosh. Once I saw her, I was like, yeah, she's it. She's the shaman. She's going to be the maestro. And especially after hearing her talk and everything, like I said earlier, yeah, I'm decided. So I guess it's going to be a little bit, you know, not bad news, but I guess I'm going to feel not a little bad, I guess, to tell the other shaman that I was thinking doing a shaman apprenticeship with. I'm going to have to tell him that, no, I found my other shaman that actually want to do the shaman apprenticeship. But I got some other news also. Next month, I'm actually going to help that other shaman to actually do, you know, to help him a little bit with his own center. I'm going to help him build actually his own maloka, which is the ceremonial hut where we actually have the plant medicine ceremonies. So I'm going to learn how to build a maloka with him. I'm going to try to help him build that. It's going to be very interesting. But basically, this feels for me like it's important for me. It's my way to thank the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, thank God, you know, for the gift of healing, to, you know, to heal everyone. So it's basically my way to thank the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, especially for all the healing that I've received, and God, basically, and to thank all of these plants for all of their help. And the way that I can actually thank them is to actually help other people in that healing sphere, right? Because it's important that we help empower each other, to help to spread the word of healing. These plant medicines are actually, they're tremendously powerful. They're so powerful, my friends, they can break addictions, apparently. You know, there's so many miracle stories. They can help break addiction. They can help completely rethink your life in a good way. They can help you give intentions, give you clarity on where you want to go in your life. For me, it actually, these last 3 ceremonies I had last week actually helped to give me exactly where I want to go, and exactly what I want to do, what I want to be, you know. So I'm extremely grateful for all of this. So I'm going to help this other shaman, because it's not even before I start my actual maestro apprenticeship, so it's going to be okay to see this other shaman. I'm going to help him to help build up his own retreat centers with many different ideas from the different other retreat centers I've seen also. Ideas to actually help him to improve and to spread the word of plant medicine and ayahuasca, because this healing sphere, the healing work is so important, my friends. For me, I can only be grateful to the universe, to God, to the plants, to the spirit of the plants, to have actually helped to heal me, and for all of the other healing work that they have done into helping healing other people. So I'm super excited to actually start my apprenticeship at the retreat center in maybe a year and a half from now. But I'm very excited also to actually start my training to be a facilitator, which is not going to be with a shaman. The facilitator is going to be, of course, I'm going to be communicating a little bit with the shaman, but it's going to be mostly, I'm going to help to, I'm going to help to facilitate Kambo experiences with people, and I'm also going to be able to actually help the shaman during his own or her own ayahuasca ceremonies in the Maloka. So the facilitators, by the way, are completely sober. They're there to help to clean the purging, the vomit sometimes that there's on the ground, to help people, guide them to the bathroom if they need to go to the bathroom, to comfort them if there's, if there's a need to also help to move the shaman, because sometimes the shaman or the maestro, might be into the plant medicine, and the medicine sometimes is very powerful, and sometimes it may be a little bit disorienting, even to the shaman. Also, depending on how the energies are exchanged during the whole ceremony, sometimes the energies are quite intense, especially some people scream, or some people actually purge some bad traumas out of their soul, out of their bodies. Well, it's very important that, because like it can be overwhelming, all these energies, even to the shaman, by the way. They're not immune. They're pretty powerful, but, they're not immune. So that's why it's important that people try anyways their best not to scream. And anyways, last week, so many things, the facilitators were so helpful too. Like, I puked in the bucket a couple times and stuff, and sometimes you kick the bucket and the bucket kind of drips on the floor, and it's not fun. So many stories I'm gonna have to explain to all of you in the future. Oh my gosh. But everything in due time, my friends. Okay, this video has been long enough right now. I hope you have enjoyed this video with all of the explanation about the plan dietas, about the facilitator training, all of that stuff. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, my friends. I'm sending so much love to all of you, and may the shamanic and the healing sphere of the plants of the world heal everybody, and may everybody live the best life that they can ever live. And if you ever feel drawn, or if you ever feel called, because it's not for everyone, by the way, but if you ever feel called to come down in the Amazon and actually do some plant medicine, go for it. Go for it, or wait until the actual appropriate time. Sometimes it may take a couple of years until, it's the actual right time too. But, yeah. So, I'm super excited. At some point in the future, after I'm going to get fully trained in many years from now, I'm going to become my own maestro. I'm going to be able to actually hold my own ceremonies. And I will probably have some events in the future, in many years to come, for all of you that are watching right now that may be interested in, being in a ceremony with me, holding the ceremony once I actually go through all my training. So my friends, thank you again so much for watching, and sending you so much love to all of you, okay? Thank you so much for watching all of this long story, but I hope this was informative to all of you, and I hope all of you have a beautiful day. Much love, and stay blessed, my friends.